What's up? A to Z Sports Live on a Friday on location at a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa at Moe's Barbecue next door to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa as Valentine's Day, Zach, is on Monday. Are you ready?
Are you
prepared?
I am prepared. I'm locked and loaded. I got what I need to get. And got dinner plans and all that other stuff.
Same.
So I'm secure. The bag is secure.
Right.
I feel good.
If you're not, or if you want to add a little bit extra, momentspeace.com/gifts is where to go do that for Valentine's Day on a Monday. You kind of forget about it because the Super Bowl's on Sunday. Valentine's Day right after that because the NFL's extended week of the season. So make sure you're prepared so you don't lose that after Super Bowl Sunday. But we'll talk more about a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa throughout today's show. But Mike Vrabel officially wins NFL Coach of the Year last night at NFL Honors. And the league's biggest star does the Titans a massive favor throughout the Pro Bowl. We'll talk about that throughout the show. The emotions that Titans fans feel from seeing their head coach win NFL Coach of the Year. We'll talk about that. And we'll ask a question about Mike Vrabel. We'll also play his speech from NFL Honors that we saw last night of winning Coach of the Year. So we'll get to that. And then Aiden asks, who is the NFL's biggest star? I mean, I think who we're going to talk about is the NFL's biggest star.
Well, but maybe that's a little side debate.
Maybe we get into a tangent on who actually is the NFL's biggest star. But that player that we'll talk about did do the Titans a massive favor at the Pro Bowl last week with a mic'd up comment that he made. So we'll play that for you as well, and we'll react to that if it's a big deal, small deal, no deal. Is this guy exactly the NFL's biggest star? And then we'll wrap up our week. Well, Zach's got his Super Bowl prop bets. You tease those.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to make sure
I put $100 on the prop bet. I got stats to back it up. It's going to blow your mind. Hey, and I had a good night last night.
You did have a good night last night.
I had a good night last night.
Yes.
Rolling the die in the NBA. Had some good games last night. But, so I have the prop bet. I've got about 5 right now.
Okay.
I'm starting to stack up.
Well, now you've just got extra money roll to play with.
Well, yeah, I win money, I put money back in. I win money, I put money, and I start to climb that ladder. So I'm in a good spot.
Yeah,
closing out the NFL season, but I make a lot of my money on NBA. But it's going to be fun Sunday. I don't know what anybody else is doing, whether you're going to a party or watching in your comfort of your own home. You can sit back and I will say this. You can have some prop excitement from the get. That is my tease. We are broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and we will tweet out that YouTube link on Twitter. So support us there, follow us on Twitter, and also subscribe to our YouTube page. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that red button, subscribe. We got a lot to talk about. We'll talk about a Moment's Peace and Valentine's Day, but also Facebookers, what's going on? The real OGs. Share the show. Bottom left corner of your screen. Share now to public. Sharing is caring. Share the show around. We need to pop up in your Facebook friends news feed, and how that happens is you guys distribute the show and help us out. We're going to get a great audience in here on this Friday. Talk about what happened last night and get you guys ready for the Super Bowl. We got not only prop bets, but we're going to have to pick this game too. How are we feeling? Titans lost to the Bengals that ended their playoff hopes, but then you've got the surging Rams and Matthew Stafford trying to make it into the Hall of Fame on Sunday.
Yes, that is true. That is true. All right, let's get this thing going officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered by BetMGM. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham, live for a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa in Cool Springs. Also, got to make sure that you guys are following us on social media. We go live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube. Twitter's back, so we're live on Twitter again, and Twitch. Also, hit us up on Instagram and TikTok. Got to thank our sponsors because they truly do make everything happen for our show, and they help out you guys. Renters Warehouse Nashville, the professional landlords in the area at renterswarehouse.com. Wilson County Hyundai, make them a part of your new car buying process by going and seeing them in Lebanon or checking them out at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone & Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Farm Bureau Health Plans, get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans. Better coverage, better rates, better service. Learn more about a plan for you at fbhp.com/ATOZ. And yeah, we are live at Moe's Original Barbecue, right next door to Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa as they can get you set up for a victory on Valentine's Day. All you got to do is if you need to add a little something extra, or if you're like, oh crap, Valentine's Day is Monday, I got to get something, it's easy. amomentspeace.com/gifts. amomentspeace.com/gifts. Gift card, boom, you win. Everything's covered. Crisis averted. That's the easy way to go.
All right. I hate to do this. We will end the week on good news, but we will start the show on bad news. We have to boo this man.
Yeah.
Boo this man. This man, Forgetful Frank, did not get the eyeshadow that he needed after the Magic Bucket. Yesterday's show.
Yeah.
He had one job, and he dropped the bag. The bag's secure over here.
You had your alcohol ready?
I'm not going to do it until your eyeshadow is ready. Look, I need a little pick me up to look in your face for an hour. So boo this man in the comment section for forgetting his eyeshadow. You got to do what the Magic Bucket is going to do. Yep. So I hate to do this. Start the day off, comment section, do your job, and boo this man.
I'm getting it. So look, everybody hold me accountable. That's my fault. It is my fault.
We got people saying double next week.
No, that's not the rules. Jack didn't have to do that. Jack forgot 3 days. Look, whenever we're on location, there's a little bit of extra, things, plates spinning in the air, all that kind of stuff. So making sure that I will do that on Monday. I will not let you guys down a second time in a row. And then, Zach, if you're at home, you get to pull from your own person.
Yeah, right.
I also think you might have forgotten.
I go, Scott.
But there's no pull.
Are
you just going to pull them off the shelf?
Yeah, that was my plan.
You going to pay for it?
That was my plan. Yeah, I don't. You think I care? I don't. So that was my plan all along. I was going to bring a bottle in.
I didn't know it.
That may be illegal. You can't bring in booze to
they're not open yet.
I respect the house. I respect the house.
All right, so I will make sure to do that on Monday. I will not forget. So I will
Gene suggests you need to maybe add a little lipstick.
That's not the rules. You can't make the rules after you play the game, right? So, okay. Speaking of good news, Zach, I have good news that is like 3+ years in the making, and that you're going to be excited about too, because it's going to help everybody. It's going to benefit. My good news will benefit everybody.
Okay.
It's very personalized, but it will benefit everybody.
Okay.
All right. So Mike Vrabel officially wins NFL Coach of the Year last night. I mean, it's well-deserved, right? So let's just go ahead and play the video to let Mike Vrabel say it himself. But here is Mike Vrabel at NFL Honors last night on the stage accepting NFL Coach of the Year.
And the 2021 AP Coach of the Year is... My fingers got too much grease on them. Mike Vrabel! What up, Coach?
Thank you. It is an honor and a privilege to play and coach in this league. Okay, and having coached in the Pro Bowl, I know our game is in good hands. My job and every coach's job is to teach, develop, and to make a connection and make an impact. And I want to thank our owner. I want to thank Miss Amy Adams Strunk. That a girl. And I want to thank my family. I want to thank my wife, Jen. I want to thank Tyler and Carter. I want to thank my best friend. I want to thank Stretch. Okay, this is a reflection of our 91 players that help us win 12 games and our coaching staff. So thank you, and this is a pleasure. Thank you.
So it's short and sweet for Mike Vrabel up there, just like the Titans playoff run. But anyway, Coach of the Year, very impressive job that Mike Vrabel did this past season. So, Zach, what was your initial takeaway? I know you probably had some futures bets on Mike Vrabel and Coach of the Year, but how do you feel watching Vrabel actually get it?
He earned me like $200 last night, so I appreciate that. On top of the other night, but for Mike Vrabel, look, I think he deserved that. I think and Titans fans know this probably more so than the NFL, and at least the AP or the writers got that correct. It takes a strong head coach to combine and get a lot of new players during the season when bullets are flying and things are happening, when your best player on your entire team is out for a considerable amount of time. The guy you traded for, Julio Jones, is in and out of the lineup with hamstring injury. A.J. Brown had his fair share of injuries. And on the defensive side of the ball, whether it was Christian Fulton, your first-round pick tore his ACL the first game he started.
Yep.
So, like, all of these things started just to stack up on each other. And regardless of how the season ended, the overall season, the regular season in which this award is voted on,
all of them, right?
That is who won this award. That is who was the coach of the year by season's end. I thought look, Zach Taylor did a phenomenal job, and I think if you vote after the season, most of the Super Bowl winning coaches would probably win this
Right.
award. That's why they don't do that.
Yes.
And and Matt LaFleur did a great job over the last several years in Green Bay. They fell up short, obviously, just like the Titans. But I think with what Mike Vrabel was dealing with internally within the facility with injuries and roster, and look, it goes to John Robinson too. I was surprised that he didn't think John Robinson a part of that. Thank your boss, and the overall boss was Amy Adams Strunk. But that they had to work together to kind of manage this roster. And he mentioned that in his speech, but that he was deserving of this honor.
And I think if he would go back and do it again, he would probably mention John Robinson. I don't think that was a purposeful miss on thanking John or not thanking John Robinson. But I agree with a couple of the comments here. G-Man says, well-deserved. Nobody did more with less. And then Josh says, he didn't just win it. Vrabel smoked the other coaches. And that's very true. Like Mike Vrabel coached circles around a lot of the opponents they played this past year because of the Titans' circumstances outside of their control, which are injuries. And the flukiness of what this year was on the injury front for the Titans was pretty incredible for them to overcome that. We've talked about this a lot over the last several months because week to week, guy goes down, Vrabel finds, and John Robinson finds some guy off the streets that comes in and can execute on game day, and the Titans can somehow find a different way to win. And going 6-3 minus Derrick Henry in the second half of the season, also very impressive, and being able to have a defense that is all of a sudden like the sixth best scoring defense in the entire league after its problems from a year ago. Very, very well deserving. So let's jump into this question, Zach. What is the best part of Mike Vrabel being the Titans head coach? What is the best part of Mike Vrabel being the Titans head coach? I want to hear what you guys think about that. But real quick, let me tell you guys about Renters Warehouse and renterswarehouse.com. They're the professional landlords in the area. Simply head to renterswarehouse.com to find out how much your home can rent for. There's a bunch of different ways that Renters Warehouse can help you out by creating extra cash flow for you and your family. Also by being able to help you earn long-term equity after not selling your house when you move. You don't have to. There are alternatives to selling your house. But renterswarehouse.com can help you out considerably there by helping long-term equity equal long-term wealth at renterswarehouse.com.
It is esports. We're powered by BetMGM. BetMGM is the app you need to download. Had a great parlay last night that got me about $160, which was nice. BetMGM helped me do that. Also, Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year, I placed my bet on BetMGM, that $10 Monday club that I'm a part of that I get $10 free to bet. I bet a lot of futures on that. Mike Vrabel paid that off. That was thanks to BetMGM. Download the app today. And the best part is going into this weekend, use the promo code ATOZ200 for a $10 moneyline wager on pro football's final game to win $200 when a touchdown is scored for new users. BetMGM's got the hookup right there.
Yeah, and we'll talk about prop bets for Sunday later on in the show. So the question right now, what's the best part of Mike Vrabel being the Titans head coach? Lou Man says his attitude. Jeremiah says winning. Bruce says that Austin was wrong. I don't know what I was wrong about. I'm wrong about several things, but I don't know exactly what Bruce is saying. Mr. Corey says recognition. Steven says attracting the big names. We'll talk about that later on after as well. Steven says winning. Sean says consistency for better or worse. Ty Kendrick says grown men respect him. Mikey saying controls the room. Everyone else before him seem uncomfortable in every room. I don't necessarily know about that, but I think, Mike Mularkey did good things here with the Titans, but he had a lower ceiling than what Mike Vrabel had. We talked about that earlier in the week when John Robinson and Mike Vrabel got their contracts extended by the Titans organization. So a lot of comments here, a lot of good comments. Zach, what's your answer to this?
Well, so, and look, Tristan is right? Players like playing for him. I don't think that has ever been questioned. That doesn't always mean that you're a good head coach, right? I mean, there's been plenty of guys that players love playing for. Mike Singletary, you get up for this guy, doesn't mean you're going to win games. There's plenty of player coaches, and you mentioned Mike Mularkey. He was beloved within the locker room. Delaney Walker went to war for Mike Mularkey. And
no,
really,
did they like Terry Robisky and some of the other? No, but Mike Mularkey, there was a lot of respect there.
Yeah, and so I think that respect automatically comes from Mike Vrabel, whether Mike Vrabel would even like talking about this or not, because he doesn't like talking about it. But I think the respect that he came from the Patriots organization as a player and was a key part of that defense early in the Tom Brady era, and Vrabel was a badass when it came to playing defense, getting after the quarterback, and then being the utility guy. We saw him on offense catch touchdown passes. So I think that is kind of where I'm going. And honestly, running a business from top to bottom, and that is what Mike Vrabel does.
Yeah.
You have to know how to do everything. You have to know what to do. If somebody asks you a question on special teams, you've got to at least bring up an example that affected you, that you can say, well, I know from a defensive perspective, look, I played special teams for X number of years.
10 years, he said.
You come off the edge a certain way and you try to get leverage on the left side instead of the right side to get closer to the ball. I don't know what it is, but that I think resonates with players. And so, yes, he's a player's coach and a likable guy. But the trust factor that when Mike Vrabel tells you that he has been a part of it or experienced it, I think that holds the most weight, in my opinion, of what separates him as, he's climbing the ladder of a top-tier coach. When he signed that extension and you looked on, whether it was Facebook or social media or even analysts talking about that, they were like, you better watch out. He's going to be in Tennessee for a long time. That, I think, is a sign of respect. That's not a good thing for other teams, that Mike Vrabel is going to be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans for a long period of time based on his extension and his success. But my final answer is he knows or has been around everything in the game. Assistant coaches, defensive coordinator, head coach, player, special teams. The list goes on and on and on. And that, again, carries a lot of value.
I'll paraphrase one of what the things that Mike Vrabel talked about in his opening press conference when he accepted the head coaching job of the Titans. And it was I've sat in all 53 chairs. He's been the rookie, somewhat high draft pick. He's been the underperforming draft pick. He's been the guy fighting for a roster spot. He's been traded. He's been the big-time free agent acquisition by the Patriots. He's been a team captain, a glue guy, a leader, and he's been the old veteran that is about to be a salary cap casualty. He's been everything. He's played offense, defense, special teams all over the place. And so how I was going to say this is, because we're talking about what's the best thing about Mike Vrabel being the Titans head coach. It's instant credibility. Instant credibility in nearly every conversation you can have about the Tennessee Titans organization and their football team is that Mike Vrabel brings that there. It's that the way he was a part of the Patriots Super Bowl teams, the rings that he has, being an Ohio State guy, having the type of attitude and the football guy mentality, but also caring for his players the way he does. It's instant credibility in every conversation, in every room that he walks into. And the Titans usually don't have that. Like, the Titans had credibility around and I'm not talking about in the fans' eyes, the media, it's in the NFL. The Titans have instant credibility in the NFL with Mike Vrabel. They haven't had that since Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher was on the competition committee. Jeff Fisher was doing a lot of these different things inside the NFL circles. And then you had the gap of Munchak had great credibility as an offensive lineman and O-line coach, but not a head coach. Ken Wisenhunt, disaster. Mike Mularkey, limited. Mike Vrabel is more credible, I think, or becoming as credible or more credible than what Jeff Fisher was at his height and what he meant in the NFL circles.
Well, and Jeff Fisher's career, when they came to Nashville and jumped on the scene as a new, football team in a new city, essentially, he came and they had instant success. And that is really hard to do, right? Instant success from 1999 to 2005, right? That's a span. That was their Super Bowl window. Unfortunately, they don't have any Super Bowls to show for it. But that was their Super Bowl window, and they multiple times made waves in the playoffs, whether it was the Music City Miracle, the iconic play, or even losing in the first round to Ray Lewis and stealing the ball away. That's an iconic moment in the NFL. People were watching the Tennessee Titans regularly. I think now, and being in the playoffs, going to an AFC Championship game a couple of years ago, the fan base of the NFL is watching more Titans football than they have in the last 20 years. That is because of Mike Vrabel and obviously Derrick Henry and some moves and the roster and the team. But you'd say instant credibility. Instant credibility is one of the hardest things to have, right? Because trust and respect is earned, not given. Right. And that is by everybody. That is in any walk of life. And I do agree with that. When he tells somebody to do something, I think that they are more likely to do it than question it. And especially in today's age, when I could just Google something and make sure that you're right. Mm-hmm. When you're on the practice field and he's out there and he's telling you about leverage or hand placement or where your legs are to make sure that they're underneath you, like those things, I feel like players automatically are going to not take that with a grain of salt, but think about it the next time that they're actually playing the game. And that's really hard. And other coaches have that, right? Yeah, well, I think Pete Carroll has that. I think Bill Belichick has that. I think Mike Tomlin has that. I think there's coaches in the league, and those are well-established Super Bowl winning head coaches.
Right.
But Mike Vrabel is climbing this ladder. He's only been in the league 4 years as head coach.
Right, and he's still relatively young, right? And so Tank Watson on Facebook says, my opinion, but Fisher is not a better coach than Vrabel. And, only iced Maddie says, oh, Jeff 8-8 Fisher. And a lot of people are, Jeff never won coach of the year. And there's tons of pot shots you can take at Jeff Fisher, but is Mike Vrabel the best head coach of the Titans era right now because he wins coach of the year? I'm not ready to just dismiss what Jeff Fisher did for such a long time.
Jeff Fisher has gone further in a football season than Mike Vrabel ever has.
Mike Vrabel went to the AFC title game in his second year as head coach, right? And Jeff Fisher went to the Super Bowl in the first year as they rebranded organization after they moved and never were in the same city for 3 years in a row.
People are easy to forget.
Yes, and then what they did, they won the 1 seed the next year. And then Jeff Fisher was in, I think, 3 or 2 AFC championship games. And so, look, Jeff Fisher did a lot of really good things. Did it fizzle out at the end? Absolutely. Every good thing does come to an end, and usually when good things come to an end, it unravels fastly and it can get really ugly. But so I'm not ready to just put Vrabel ahead of Jeff Fisher and call Vrabel the best coach the Titans have ever had, but he's on his way to doing that. And he's also had Jeff Fisher coached a co-MVP of the NFL. There's a lot of good coaching that goes into Steve McNair winning the co-MVP of the NFL off of what Steve McNair was early in his career. It's a lot of really good coaching and management from a coach to player and really helping him along his NFL career from what McNair was in the mid-90s to 2003 and that total transformation.
Mike Vrabel has an extremely good start on that. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because if you look at Jeff Fisher from 99 to 2003, 13-3, they were 7-9 1 year in 2001, 11-5 and 12-4. Went to the Super Bowl, coached a co-MVP.
So what was that? 4 out of 5 years of double-digit wins?
Yes.
That's pretty freaking good.
Yes. And, and they lost in the AFC Championship game, then they lost in the divisional round for against the Patriots in New England, as we all know, 17-14 on that. But for Mike Vrabel is trending to do that a lot sooner rather than later, to surpass Jeff Fisher. Yeah. But you play to win the game. Jeff Fisher has gone further in a season than Mike Vrabel has. Those are cold, hard facts. You hope that changes. And I think that we'll find that out. In the next couple of years, the Titans have the roster to possibly change that. Do they have the quarterback? I don't know that. But and the competition in the AFC is getting tougher. But Mike Vrabel, having the stability at head coach is very important in the NFL.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the roster moving forward, because I think one thing that Mike Vrabel does that Jeff Fisher really didn't, and in this day and age, I think it's very valuable, is that Mike Vrabel is an attractive guy to play for other players around the league. And we'll play a video of the NFL's biggest star doing the Titans a massive, massive favor. But first, Zach, tell everybody about Farm Bureau Health Plans.
Yeah, Farm Bureau Health Plans. If you've been watching the show, you have heard and listened and seen me talk about how Farm Bureau Health Plans has changed my health plan in the most positive way. I'm kicking myself for not doing this sooner. I was paying $214 for my health plan previously. Now I pay $166. I went through a health assessment. It was 30 to 40 minutes. It was very quick and easy. And on top of my improved, less pricey health plan, I get dental, basically dental allowance that I can get my teeth cleaned. I didn't have that with my previous one. Contacts, I get an allowance for my contacts. I've been wearing contacts since 7th grade. Nobody's giving me allowance. This is what Farm Bureau Health Plans has been able to afford me for this year and moving forward. I don't plan on changing anytime soon. This was a great situation that when we started this, I started endorsing them. Complete honesty. I had no idea what my rate was going to be, but we decided to say, look, we're going to ride and we're going to see what it is. And whatever it is, we're going to talk about it. This is what the results were, and it was unbelievable. It saved me a ton of money. That is fbhp.com/A to Z. Go there and sign up, whether it's a phone call or online.
Real quick, about to get to the NFL's biggest star doing the Titans a massive favor, but don't forget to download the BetMGM app. Use our code ATOZ200 today and this weekend. Get it in before Sunday. That's code ATOZ200. All you got to do, minimum $10 deposit, $10 moneyline wager on either team Sunday wins you $200 when a touchdown is scored in the game right there with code ATOZ200. So, Zach, Patrick Mahomes doing the Titans a big old solid with this video right here. He's talking with Max Crosby of the Raiders at the Pro Bowl about Andy Reid and what Andy Reid is like to play for. And then a little nugget in there about, man, Vrabel would be cool.
What's Andy Reid like? Is he chill?
He's super cool. I mean, yeah, it's almost like your uncle, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, cool, but you can't, don't disappoint him. He'll get mad at you. Yeah. But he's going to give you your freedom to do what you want to do.
You just can't take advantage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I bet Vrabel would be an awesome coach, dude.
Oh, yeah.
He's a player, so he understands, but he's going to make sure you get your shit done.
I think that's huge. And look.
Huge in what sense?
And I think it's big in the fact that, and where I was about to say is, obviously everybody wishes the Titans were playing in the Super Bowl this upcoming Sunday, and they had an opportunity to do it as the 1 seed. But I do think this is not a terrible thing that Mike Vrabel spent a week in Vegas around a bunch of the NFL Pro Bowlers coaching the AFC team. It's not a bad thing that was the consolation prize. If you get bounced early, but you get to hang around with the NFL's biggest stars, who are probably half of them or more are going to become free agents at some point in their career, to build a relationship with Mike Vrabel, hanging around in Vegas, being all relaxed and chill, and out in Vegas and talking with Vrabel, building a relationship on the field as a coach. I think that's something where, sure, you want to be in LA right now this week. We wanted to be in LA watching the Titans get ready for a Super Bowl. But not a bad thing to be in Vegas, being the Pro Bowl head coach.
Well, I think that, the Tennessee Titans have to sell in a different way, right? It's not LA. It's not New York. Money comes because that is the salary cap, right? Teams have money to spend in free agents. Certain teams spend more than others. But when you talk about a destination, I do believe that players value winning. I mean, players value money always, and they will always. But players value winning, I feel like, more today than they have in the past because of the creation of super teams. The NBA, I think, infused that mindset into athletes and will continue. Matthew Stafford figuring out a way to get the hell out of Detroit. Now, it took long enough. Tom Brady finding and picking and choosing his spot. These are the last two, and we'll find out if they're the last two Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. We know that one of them is. Matthew Stafford will have an opportunity to prove himself on Sunday. But you're going to have to sell yourself. And I think that Mike Vrabel, to your point, it's now something else that Tennessee has to offer.
Yep.
You know, Nashville is a tourist town. It's not like it's a destination for about 4 days. That's what it is. Okay. It's not a destination because you can have an oceanside property that is valued at $5.4 million with all the bells and whistles and a heated bathroom, right? Like that is not what Tennessee offers or Nashville offers. Nashville is a good, I would say, a destination for maybe Aaron Rodgers, as we talked about.
It is a destination for Aaron Rodgers.
It's a destination to kind of get out of the mix, right? And not be, you know, hassled or hey, can I get an paparazzi's not around. So that is the destination that Nashville offers for athletes and I think the wealthy.
Yeah.
But for a player, you want to go play for somebody that you believe in. And maybe that did give an opportunity for a bunch of Pro Bowlers to see how Mike Vrabel worked.
Yes, and so Dre says that clip was dope as hell. So I think let's get into this question. You know, Patrick Mahomes says Vrabel would be awesome to play for. And in no way in hell are we saying Patrick Mahomes is a future Titan. That's ridiculous. But Patrick Mahomes saying that in the Pro Bowl, is that a big deal, small deal, or no deal? A big deal, small deal, or no deal that Patrick Mahomes thinks Mike Vrabel would be awesome to play for. So we're going to get to a lot of comments real quick. Let me tell you guys about the Bone & Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Whenever you get hurt in life, know to go to, know to trust. Just like players might trust Mike Vrabel because of his past, you can trust the Bone & Joint Institute with their dozens of doctors there who specialize in any type of joint injury you may have. So hit them up at boneandjointtn.org.
BetMGM, download the app today before Sunday's big game. They got you a hookup, promo code ATOZ200. So they'll hook you up here. I'm actually surprised about what some of the chat is saying because I don't agree with it. But Patrick Mahomes thinks Mike Vrabel would be awesome to play for. Is that a big deal, small deal, or no deal? So first couple of comments, Tristan says big deal. David says big deal. Jarrell says small deal. Drew says very small deal. Derek says small deal. Aaron says small deal. Marquis, I think you're aligned with how I'm thinking. No deal.
No deal?
Just a respectful
You're
compliment.
a no deal?
Oh, yeah. This is ridiculous. This is not.
You're a no deal.
Well, how is this a deal? How is this even? Like, what does this matter?
Well, I did.
How does this matter?
All right. So Malachi says it's huge because it wasn't a question that came up. Mahomes brought Vrabel up. That's where I think this is. Hey, there's like, who cares? I'm not saying it's a big deal, but it's definitely not a no deal.
It
like,
definitely is a no deal. What is the result of him speaking these words?
These are two Pro Bowl players on the sideline of a meaningless game, chopping it up, talking about whatever, and the best quarterback in the sport right now, Patrick Mahomes, says, man, I bet Vrabel will be awesome to play for.
What does that get you?
I think it continues to grow the allure of playing for Mike Vrabel.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I'm not saying it's a big deal. I think my answer is small deal.
It's no deal. It has no impact on anything.
I think
ever.
it does. I think because somebody commented. I'm not going to be able to find it because the comments are too far back. But Mike Vrabel can be a tiebreaker for a free agent making a decision.
Oh, yeah. Free agent is going to be like, oh, man, you remember back in like 2021, 2022 when Mahomes and Crosby were on the sidelines talking about Vrabel? You know what? I'm going to go to Tennessee now. That is the most ridiculous, stupidest thing.
No, I'm not saying
that's what you just literally insinuated.
No, you're being too literal, Zach. It's the fact that
you literally said that.
No, it's too literal, and maybe it was Max said it could be a tiebreaker. It's not.
There is no tiebreaker based on a clip from however many years ago.
Zach, you're taking it so. I'm saying
you said it.
Hold on, dude. Chill. It's the fact that one of the best players, and in my opinion, the biggest star in the NFL right now, is talking about your coach that way is absolutely a small deal. It's not a no deal. It's not a big deal either, but it's a small deal.
It gets you nowhere.
I think it helps
Nope.
because
not everybody in the league has even seen that clip. So there you go. Only a percentage has.
You can't say no deal. You can't.
Oh, I can.
Zach,
and I will.
Zach,
and I'll double down on that.
Whenever
you
somebody
can't say that it's any of a deal.
Patrick Mahomes' words mean something. And whenever if somebody whose words mean something in the public opinion and they talk highly about A to Z Sports, that's not a no deal.
It would be different if it was a press conference that he came out and fully endorsed. It's side talk on a sideline of a meaningless game.
Meaning it's authentic. It is real. It's not just Mahomes saying something politically correct in an interview when asked about Vrabel being the AFC.
If you're deciding whether to go to a football team based on hearsay from another guy on the sideline of a Pro Bowl, then you need to reevaluate why you're going to that team. This should have been the
lead topic. Damn, this is good because Bobby says if Tom Brady said this, Zach would be glowing.
Tom Brady is friends with Vrabel. That doesn't matter. It didn't even look. That's a great example, Bobby. Love of the show for Bobby. Tom Brady's best friends with Mike Vrabel. His ass still didn't come to Tennessee.
Well, that's because the Titans didn't want it.
So there you go, Bobby. Thanks for bringing up that point. So what do you think some non-existent sideline Pro Bowl side conversation is going to have if Tom Brady's not even going to go to Tennessee when he's best buddies with him?
There wasn't.
That has no influence. Zero. No deal. Bobby, love of the show. Friday. Love you, Bobo. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you.
So Tank says,
think that conversation is going to move mountains of where people are going to go, and Tom Brady won't even go to where his best buddy coaches. What a crock.
Okay. Tank says, don't y'all start. That clip doesn't matter. Numbers do those. I'm for Vrabel. Look.
Tank.
Nobody's saying that winning doesn't matter. Again, it's an extra benefit that if the game's biggest current star, Patrick Mahomes, is a fan or thinks playing for your coach would be awesome, that's a good thing. That's positive. You can use that to your advantage. I feel.
Hey man, Patrick Mahomes really likes Vrabel. You should go there.
That's not what dude. You're taking.
That's literally your argument.
It's somebody else said it's word of mouth. Thank you, Jabu. It's word of mouth marketing. It is grassroots word of mouth marketing that is tangible, that you can grasp and hold on to. It's a good thing. It is absolutely a good thing.
It's not a deal though. It could be a good thing and not a deal.
It's not a no deal.
It has no bearing. Oh man, did you hear what Mahomes was talking about Vrabel? Man, we gotta go there. That's not how this works at all.
It's the fact
you go there, you meet the man, then you go, and if it's free agency, your agent has to negotiate. There's so many different things. I think if you pull every single NFL player deciding on it and said, is this a deal? They would say no. That bears no weight on my decision. Come on, guys. You guys are playing more. You're being a little too fanny.
No. I think Mike Vrabel is a pro. Like if you're making a old-fashioned legal pad pro-con list on free agent joining the Titans, Mike Vrabel, in his personality and the way he goes about things, is absolutely a pro for a star that says, yeah, I want to play for a guy who knows what I'm going through, who's been through it and been really successful at it. Again, all the things we talked about that made Mike Vrabel the coach of the year, I think it goes through here.
But Ty brings it up. He just won coach of the year. You don't need any other endorsement of Patrick Mahomes on the sideline or a Pro Bowl.
It's a positive thing.
More of the players actually heard Mike Vrabel speak than that clip. Silence tells me everything.
I'm trying to think. I don't know how many people watch the NFL Honors.
Nobody watches that. That clip was like, you had to resurface. The only people that watch that clip that actually give a damn are Chiefs fans and Titans fans, and maybe Raiders fans because Crosby's in.
Again, I think what I said earlier is that leading into this topic is that Mike Vrabel coaching the Pro Bowl was a good consolation prize and a good opportunity for him to be around a lot. Like Mark, I don't disagree with Marcus. Zach, you're acting like I'm saying it's all or nothing. It's a part of
Your
it.
argument was really
No,
weak,
it's not. No, it's not. It's yes, money is the
though.
biggest
It has
thing.
zero bearing
no,
of where
that's-
players are going to go.
You cannot, Zach. It's not 100%. It's not 0%. It's somewhere in the middle. Like we say, you can't answer one. You can't sit on the fence of the 5.
You're literally
and it's on
asking
10.
me to. That's one of the options.
And well, we're talking.
You came up with this question.
No,
I didn't even know
Zach,
that this question was going to happen.
Zach, you're taking what I'm saying and acting like I'm saying 100% of the reason why somebody signs the Titans is because of Mike Vrabel. I am not saying
No, I did the impression of, hey man, I'm on the fence. Maybe it's that Mahomes Crosby conversation in the Pro Bowl.
Like you're being ridiculous. Like you are overblowing the topic and conversation that I'm trying to have. And the fact that Patrick Mahomes is pro Mike Vrabel, that is a good thing that the Titans can benefit off of in free agency with other stars like Patrick Mahomes when they become available.
Okay, it's not a deal though.
Okay, I said small deal. You're acting like I'm making it the biggest thing in the world.
You're making it bigger than a no deal, which makes it a big deal.
No, I think you dumping on it like this is making me sound like I'm making it a bigger endorsement.
You were reading the comments. You were bad. This was your support. I just think it's ridiculous. I am that far on no deal that's why I have
and thank
presented
you.
it
Derek
that way.
says this is a horrible debate because one side is too hard-headed to even discuss anything. Zach, thank you.
Oh, Derek.
I'm
Oh,
trying
no,
to have-
Derek. I'm going to lose
No,
sleep
but-
over Derek's comments. Oh, no.
Again, you're taking that too far too.
Don't don't make something out of nothing. That's my point. Derek, Austin, everybody else that answered any sort of deal to this question, don't make something into something that it absolutely has nothing to do with anything. That is that clip. Entertaining? Interesting, but it has no weight bearing. There's no impact on the other side of it. That's why it's a no deal.
Yeah, I think you're being insane. All right, so let's go ahead and get to your prop bets for the Super Bowl. And I'm curious.
Do you have any prop bets?
I haven't pulled the trigger yet because I'm waiting for Alan and Brian this afternoon to learn more. I've got a couple leans that I like, but I have not yet pulled the trigger on my prop bets. Again, I told you I had a bunch of Rams futures that I've hedged now with Bengals bets to where I'm going to be in a good spot regardless of who wins the game. So now it's just extra bonus.
I did that last night too.
Right. So I'm extra bonus. I'm good. My base is covered. Now it's just trying to have some fun with some props after the fact. So we will do that. But first, Zach, tell everybody about Wilson County Hyundai.
Wilson County Hyundai is where you need to go to get your next ride. Quick trip down I-40, exit 236, the Palisade, the Sonata, the Elantra, the Santa Fe. They have the perfect make and model right for you, and it's simple. I mean, they've got you covered right there at WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
All right, don't forget, if you're new to it, we had somebody DM us this morning on Instagram saying, just downloaded the BetMGM app. Can you help me out a little bit? Yeah, absolutely. If you're in Tennessee, you download the BetMGM app, use code ATOZ200. Here's what you got to do. A minimum $10 deposit, that's all, with code ATOZ200. Then you put a $10 moneyline wager on either team Sunday, and you're going to win $200 when a touchdown is scored in the game. Simple as that. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older, Tennessee only, new customer offer. All promotions subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire in 7 days from issuance. For problem gaming support, call Tennessee Redline 800-889-9789. So, Zach, you said you have 5 prop bets for Sunday?
I mean, yeah, they're stacking up. I won't disclose all of them because it'll take too long. But I did early in the week. I said Matthew Stafford over 2.5 rushing attempts.
And the reason why I like that the most is because in games like this, the Super Bowl and lose or go home games, quarterbacks will scramble to get any extra yard they possibly can, right? Like that's more valuable than throwing the football away. And also kneel downs. If the Rams, who are the favorites, are going to win, you bet your ass Matt Stafford is like, I'm doing victory formation, not my backup. I'm doing it to soak this in. And if you get 2 kneel downs to end the game, that's a great way to win that prop.
Another prop bet is Aaron Donald over 4.5 tackles. I like that. Tackles or assists, right? So you can get half, right? And I believe that the Bengals are going to try to run the ball. I also have Samaje Perine over 8.5 receptions or receiving yards. I like that, but that's not my big one. My big one, and this is based on stats. It may win, it may not. But I have a bet over the last 28 Super Bowls that hits 93% of the time. That is no touchback on the opening kickoff. There's only been 2 out of the last 28 Super Bowls that the opening kickoff has actually ended in a touchback.
Huh.
Yes. New England and Carolina, and also the Superdome Ravens 49ers game that the lights went out. Those are the 2 Super Bowls in the last 28 that have actually ended in a opening kickoff touchback. Maybe it's nerves, maybe it's something. And here's another thing to double down. I got $100 on this.
Ooh.
So I believe that there will not be a touchback to open the Super Bowl. If you look at the 2 kickers, the Rams or the Bengals, because we don't know who's going to have that opening kickoff, they are in the 20th in the entire league of touchbacks. So they don't do a lot of kickoff
And that's
touchbacks.
on purpose, right? Like every NFL kicker can kick a touchback if they want to and everything, but it's by design.
Right.
It's kicking, it's philosophy that they want the return.
So this
That is a
number
good one.
has changed.
Yeah, what is it?
So
Juice.
and I should have pulled the trigger earlier in the week when it was plus 110, which is ridiculous.
Now there's no way.
And so now it is, I've seen it at minus 110 and minus 120.
I think I'm good with that up until like minus 135.
Yeah, well, that's when the money is coming on it, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
when the
So
line
jump
is really
on that one soon, right? I like that. That's
so
good.
hey, look, I'm not going to come. I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know that the stats prove that is a good bet.
Sure.
When you're betting on BetMGM, all you want is good bets. Like
You
last
might
night,
lose-
I
you
had a
might
Kyle
lose.
Lowry bet. That was a good bet.
Yes.
I covered in the first half.
Right.
This, I believe, is a good bet. No touchback on the opening kickoff.
That's a good bet.
And it's not like so I've also looked at I love
It's
prop
way
bets.
better than coin flip.
Yeah, it's way better than coin flip. I do like the national anthem over or under.
Who's singing it?
So I believe it is Mickey Guyton who is singing. And notoriously, Mickey Guyton is a singer, female country artist that does shorter versions of the national anthem. But the difference is you're in the Super Bowl. This is your moment, right? This is everybody's going to be watching.
Yeah, but nobody
Do
likes
you draw it out a
No,
little bit?
nobody likes
longer?
that person. Do it the right way.
It's hard.
All right, so let's get through these.
So
what else is
that's my big one.
That's your big one?
Yeah. Do you have any?
I thought you had 5. I thought you were going to tell us all. Is that
I'm
all
not
of
going to
them?
tell you all of them.
I don't
I don't want the line to
That's
move.
what you said you were
I
going to do
don't
yesterday.
I don't want the line to move. I told
Did
you
you
I was going to. I gave you my best one,
Okay.
my 93%. You've given 0. You haven't given any prop bet. So I've given you a handful. I got a couple that I'm saving. I got a lot of money riding on this game, but I have not picked the actual game. I'm a prop guy. These are props. So that 93%, you're not going to get that information anywhere else.
No, that's fantastic.
Did you know that?
No, I had no idea.
So power to the people. I'm bringing some to the table.
I had no idea. So I do know that these teams, I'm expecting a slower start. I would take the under on the first half, and I'm pulling up to see where it's at. But the first half under, in my opinion, is a smart bet. I think there's going to be a lot of nerves. We've seen the Bengals a lot of times kick field goals in these playoffs. Now, the Rams can explode for a 70-yard touchdown at any point with Cooper Kupp and whoever else. So that might hurt. But under 23.5 for the first half, I think is a good play.
Okay.
Especially if you look at the Bengals' slow start out of the gates in Kansas
Has
City.
been the entire playoffs.
Yes, and then a slow start against the Niners for the Rams last week too. So, and then, so I think under 23.5 is where I'm going to go first half.
Who do you think wins on Sunday?
I think the Rams do.
I'm cheering for the Bengals. I think the Rams will win. Rams are a better football team. But look at last year. The Kansas City Chiefs are a better football team. Now, they had those 2 injuries in the tackle, right? So that was kind of the caveat, and we saw the impact that had on Patrick Mahomes running for his life. But the Chiefs were favored, and the Bucs won. So that's kind of the best part about the Super Bowl is you don't know. You've got surging teams that have gone through a gauntlet in their respective conference, and you got Joe Burrow, who is a emerging star that imagine just 2 years into the league has a Super Bowl championship.
Yeah.
And he's in the AFC, which is not good for the Titans.
Yeah. So Darren says Rams by a lot. Bengals O-line can't keep that D-line from getting to Burrow. Well, I mean, we thought the Chiefs were going to demolish Burrow too, and they sacked him once. So you never really know how it's going to go. You went from 9 sacks on Burrow against the Titans to 1 time against the Chiefs. Pretty nuts there. A to Z Sports here live from a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. If you need to win a prop bet, I think Zach gave you some good options. But if you need to win Valentine's Day and maybe like, oh crap, scrambling, maybe you forgot something.
That happens. It's on the horizon.
And it's so weird. Like Valentine's Day being the day after the Super Bowl, it's easy to forget that because of all the excitement for the game. But a momentspeace.com/gifts is all you got to do. A gift card wins it. A gift card for mani-pedi combo, a massage. They got a 45-minute massage, neck and shoulders. That's great too. Or the couples massage. I got a couples massage scheduled with my wife coming up in a week or so as well. So momentspeace.com/gifts is where to go for that. Zach, are you ready for Ain't That Good News?
I am. I'm ready to roll.
All right, let's do Ain't That Good News to wrap up the week. All right, ain't that good news to send us to the weekend every weekend? Off limits good news. The Super Bowl is Sunday. That's my good news. Off limits for today. Okay, fair. Do you want to start with your?
Yeah, but if we make that roll, we got to make sure weather in the future is always off limits. We can't do any weather or any football Super Bowl. I think that's fair. Weather and Super Bowl off limits for good news.
Well, then that transitions me into my good news. Mine's not weather related, but it's going to help the weather not ruin my day. Zach, I've been thinking about this for a long time. Today is the day. I get my first allergy shot today.
Oh, this is big.
This is massive. If you've watched our show for years, I die every April and May. I can't breathe. I can't smell. I can't go outside. I can barely get through a show without having tissues and sneezing all over the place. April and May for me are miserable. And I got quoted back in 2020 for allergy shots. It's a long 2 or 3 year process, but it starts today. The first allergy shot goes in the shoulder later on this morning. And I could not be more excited to get 34 shots in my shoulder in the next 3 months.
I mean, and I know the impact because I've talked to you every day during that time.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, early on when, our relationship started when we were on radio, I'd be like, dude, just take Zyrtec.
Yeah.
Bro.
And I'm like, I've taken Zyrtec. Zyrtec no longer has a positive impact on me. So I've moved on to Zysol. And so, Bobby says, what specific pollen? That's a funny comment. All of them. All of the pollens is what I'm allergic to, especially the black walnut tree that is the biggest tree in my backyard that blooms every April and May. So I'm allergic to the grasses, the trees, the mold that comes with the rain, everything. So allergy shot number 1 hits later on.
And the viewers do during that time of year, they're always like, man, Austin stuffed up, all that other stuff.
Dude, Flonase.
Yeah. Right? So now that helps, the comment section is not going to get on you.
Yeah, so everybody will benefit from me starting my allergy shot. So basically I can get an allergy shot every other day maximum if I want to, but that's not realistic for time. But, 2 a week over the next couple of months to help me get closer to a less miserable life when it comes to April. So that's my good news.
So let's go through the chat. Darren says, my wife surprised me last night that she's pregnant with their 3rd child. Hopefully not twins. Again. Ooh, you're playing with fire, right? I mean, I don't know. Again, it's kind of a crapshoot, but how often do you get 2 sets of twins?
It's like a parlay, right? It's like, you got
it's an expensive parlay.
It's long odds, but sometimes they hit. and then this is the opposite. It just costs more money instead of winning you money.
Let's see. Only Ice Matty says that he can go deaf when we played our good news intro. You got to be ready. Make sure that you know that the segment is
making sure you guys are aware.
David says good news. Got a new forerunner for our anniversary. Best wife ever. There you go.
And
new forerunner.
Forerunners in like the early 2000s were like, yeah, dude, you got a forerunner? Like that was sick. Like that model, early 2000s forerunners was pretty cool.
Oh, everybody had them.
Everybody had them, and you're like, man, I really want a forerunner. If you didn't have one.
Let's see here. Good news. Let's see. Aaron says, my good news is I order his mom's Valentine's Day gift, watching the Super Bowl from the comfort of his home and counting down the days to the trip to Mexico.
That's good too.
So I kind of piggyback off on a future there. So Valentine's Day, as we talked about, it comes at a weird time after the Super Bowl. You got to kind of gather the things. I've got all that set up, got dinner reservations, so I'm secure there. Yep. And for the future vacation thing, my cousin is getting married in March at our family farm.
Nice.
And this is going to be a Western wedding.
So
I decided this week after I got a haircut, I talked over with the girl who cuts my hair. I am going Western mustache. Western mustache for the Western wedding. That is, and
bolo tie?
Bolo, oh yeah. I'm talking cowboy hat, Western shirt, Western jacket, jeans, boots.
What's a Western jacket? In your opinion?
No, there are Western.
No, I know. I just wanted to hear from you.
Well, I will actually be wearing my grandfather's Western cut jacket.
Okay.
So it has like it looks like a Western shirt, but it is a actual like suit jacket,
coat, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So
does it have like the cut right through here in the front?
It does.
With like little hanging tassels?
I don't think it has the tassels. Okay. But so this is a Western wedding in the middle of nowhere, Texas, for my cousin. So that's and the reason why I bring this up is we're starting to kind of get prepared on that trip in early March. And so it's going to be fun. And here's my big decision. I may keep the mustache on the other side of it. I got to decide. That may be my new look over the next spring session.
What's the mustache? What's the you could go a lot of different ways.
No, I know. It's not clean cut mustache. It is more rugged Western mustache.
I get it. To wait and see. You had the 5 o'clock shadow of the mustache on top of it because you've been working on the fence posts all day.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. So I'm actually pretty excited about
Cindy says Zach's going Yellowstone.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was picturing. I haven't seen Yellowstone, but I've seen like the commercials for Yellowstone.
Yellowstone. So
yes.
Yellowstone, here I come. So again, a couple of good news. The bag is
you going like down here?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go a little bit further down.
Yeah, me too. I think that sounds great.
So, okay. All right, A and Z are doing this together. That's double good news.
I will say this. A few years ago, I obviously cannot grow facial hair very well, no matter how hard I try. But a few years ago, I lost the bet to Zach for the national championship game in college football.
That's right.
And I had to grow a mustache for 2 months. And so Facebook memories are hilarious. I like looking back at the old shows that we do, just to see how differently we've changed and how everything's grown. And, this time, 3 years ago, is when my mustache was at its peak.
You're right.
So
you don't make those bets anymore.
No, I was told very sternly, do not bet with your hair ever again.
All right. Well, hey, special thanks to A Moment's Peace. And for real, if you do not have a gift, it literally is. And this is why we do this around Christmas. We do this around Valentine's Day. And we do this around Mother's Day. It is really power to the people. If you do not have a gift, go to amomentspeace.com/gifts.
Yep.
And they have you covered. It is because it's a spa day, right? I mean, that's the best part of that is, it is great for your loved one to take a day for themselves. You can give that gift at amomentspeace.com/gifts this Valentine's Day. There's still time. It's only February 11th.
Yep. Take advantage of that. All you got to do is go online today, and we will see you guys on Monday. Don't forget, if you want more betting advice for the game on Sunday, don't forget BetMGM A to Z Sports Picks is coming up today at 2 o'clock Central Time. Alan Bell, Brian Edwards, I'm sure they've got some great winners for you. Alan's all over the trends. I wonder if Alan knows your opening kickoff trade.
I don't know. Well, if he's listening to the show, he does now.
Yes. And,
Just like everybody else.
And Brian does a great job every year of saying, okay, let's say you have $100. Here's the best, smartest way to cut up between your big play, your fun props, your long shots to help you make a profit and have fun. So Alan and Brian coming up at 2 o'clock Central Time right here on Facebook and YouTube. We will see you guys on Monday. Enjoy the weekend. Thanks, guys.
Adios.